Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I'm Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So today I will talk about the problem of loneliness, especially for PhD students. And this is a problem which is quite ubiquitous out there, and it's something which afflicts a lot of PhD students, graduate students, and so on. So I'm going to give you 8 tips which are going to help you to remove this problem to some extent. And some of these tips are also going to be useful for you if you are planning to do a PhD. So I would say don't do a PhD unless you are sure that you have some of these characteristics, you want to make some of these part of your plan, and then you will be better off. So let's begin. Now, the number one thing is that PhD tends to be better for people who are introverts. And what happens is that there is a self-selection process. People who tend to be more of an introverted nature, they think that they are going to do PhD. So very often these people like to read books, they like to do research, they like to do work by themselves, maybe on the computer. They spend a lot of time in the lab. And after some time, when they're doing bachelor's degree, master's degree, they look at the different professors out there, they see research scientists in lab, and they want to be like these people, so they think they are going to do a PhD. Now, if you are an extroverted person, you may initially have more problems in doing the PhD, but later you may have a more successful life as far as the political structures are concerned. So that is something to keep in mind for later life. But during the PhD process, actually, the introverted people tend to be doing better. They are people who are very happy working in the labs on their own and so on. Now, the next thing to remember is that co-workers are not your friends. And this is a problem which afflicts a lot of PhD students. They have friends only within the lab in which they are in. And what happens is that there is a lot of competition in the lab. All these people are essentially reporting to the same PhD supervisor. There is competition among them. The PhD supervisors often compare the different students out there, and they want to create some kind of rat race among the students. But what happens is that this kind of competition can become toxic, can become negative. And so some people may, of course, benefit. People may compare the papers which they are publishing, the impact factor of the journals where they are getting their paper, the top conference they are going to. But the person who is not doing so well, maybe his research problem is more complicated, is going to suffer a lot. So this is something which often happens. And very often PhD students do not realize that every research problem is different. Some research problems are simply more fertile than the remaining problems, and therefore what happens is that some of the PhD students who are not making so much progress in their research, they tend to get depressed, they become more lonely, and it may afflict their physical and mental health. So number three is that one of the solutions here, of course, is to have some friends in the different departments out there. Now, it often happens that PhD students are totally ensconced within the university and they have very few friends outside the university. So at least if you are having friends in the university, try to have some people from different departments. And of course, if you are staying in dorm and hostels, this is very much possible. You can make friendship with people from different department. If you are in the engineering departments, maybe have some friends from the science department, from social sciences, from liberal arts, and so on. The further the discipline is going to be, the better off you are going to be. So there is going to be less competition between such people, and also the friendship can actually be real. So this is something again to keep in mind. Now, the fourth point is that try to have friends outside the university. And this is difficult for some people, but every now and then there are people who do not stay in the university campus. They stay out of the university campus. They may be living in some apartment or rental flats. And so what happens is that these people can actually find roommates belonging to different professions. They may be working with people who are actually working in some software company or in some business company. Maybe they are studying for some exam. So in that case, what will happen is that you will have different type of people out there and your mind will broaden out. You will not discuss the department and lab politics all the time. Now, the worst case scenario is that all your friends are from the lab, and then what happens is that your mental thought processes are essentially stuck in do loops. You keep thinking the same thing again, and every day is basically the same. You are stuck in a do loop with no break statement. So that's something which you do not want to do. Now, the fifth point is that try to get a boss or a supervisor who is more like a boss. Now, I have made a video about there are two types of supervisor. There are the monk supervisor and the boss supervisor. And the monk supervisor essentially leaves you to do your own work. He or she is stuck in their own pursuit of knowledge. Maybe they are busy writing a book. Maybe they are planning to work on some very grandiose problem out there. But in those cases, the student has to be extremely self-motivated to survive. So if you feel you are not somebody who is so much self-motivated, you need much more like direction out there, you need somebody to guide your work, then it's better to get a supervisor who is more like a boss. So this person may have actually written a research proposal, he or she has obtained a grant, and then they can tell you exactly what you need to do to finish the PhD. So in these cases, you are going to have a lot of work every day. You are not going to be lonely. Your supervisor is going to make plans for your attending conferences, for your writing papers. And so the fact that you always have work is going to make you less lonely. What happens with a monk supervisor is that you have a lot of free time on your hands. He may not even remember that you are his PhD student. And so you may roam around the campus, you may drift, you may waste your time in a lot of different activities. And at the end of the day, you may be very lonely out there. Now, the sixth point is that as far as academia is concerned, it is somewhat like a cult. So, what happens is that you have a very top down structure. The professors are at the top and the students are below them. And so, in this case, what happens is that there is a general pattern of loneliness because you cannot communicate so much of your feelings and your problems to your supervisor. But I would say that you need to break this particular system. You need to talk about things more openly so that your supervisor knows all your problems. If you are having any mental health problems, you are feeling lonely, you can tell it to them. Of course, they may just give you more work to do, but sometimes hard work is itself a solution to any loneliness problem. Sometimes your supervisor may simply say that let's plan a conference paper, and this kind of thing can break the monotony of doing research in the lab all the time. The fact that you are planning to go to a conference, you are planning to get a passport, maybe visa and so on, maybe buy the tickets and think about some nice place where you will be spending some time. This itself can break the monotony of research. Now, one of the reasons conferences have actually been planned by all the professional societies out there in all fields is to actually break this kind of monotony which is there in research. So I know several people who actually spend their entire year doing research, and their big plan is to go to this one conference, present this nice paper, and meet their friends and network out there and enjoy the good meals and the scenery. So if you are somebody who is looking at a conference, try to go for conferences in nice destinations in your own country or in foreign countries out there. So you may think of going to France, you can go to Japan, you can see the Taj Mahal, you can see New York or any of these nice places. Now, the next point has to do with physical health. And one of the things you will see is that physical health is directly related to mental health. So what happens is that if you are feeling down, if you are feeling lonely, even spending some time in the gym, some time in some sports activity is going to boost you a lot. And most universities do have free gym facilities. So make use of them. Do not let these facilities only be used by the UG students. Make sure that as a PhD student or even master students, you are using these facilities. So you will find that even if you go to the gym every now and then, your loneliness is going to disappear very quickly because a lot of different hormones and chemical changes take place in the body when you do exercise. When you do physical exercise, your body starts feeling good. One of the reasons why many PhD students are lonely and somewhat depressed is because they do no physical exercise. Most of their time is spent in maybe moving chemicals from a test tube to a beaker and so on. So that's not enough exercise for most people. Now, the last point has to do with mental health. And here I would say, beside your friends out there, you need to be in constant contact with your family members. You need to be in contact with your old friends out there. Now, there are many WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, which will connect you to your different friends with the people you had in your past life or in your past presence in your high school and so on. So all these are going to be beneficial to you. Now, there are many things which you can do very cheaply, which will enhance your mental life. One of them, of course, is reading books. That is not the textbooks in your subject, but maybe novels, maybe literature out there. So try to look at some of these things. Most of the time, the libraries in your university will be there, and very few people, in fact, check out most of these books which are there in the library. So make it a point that try to read some of the books every now and then. Now current generation is actually not reading a lot, and this is having a worse impact on them. They in fact spend most of their time watching Netflix or YouTube videos. Now YouTube videos are okay if you are watching good channels like mine, but don't waste it on watching useless channels and on watching TikTok especially. So beside this, also think about taking part in some dramas, in some movies. And what I mean is that you can go to movies, for example, with your friends. So every week you can devote some time to do some of these activities, particularly on the weekend. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can set some time which you specifically target for different type of entertainment scenarios. Now remember that many people who actually become lonely, who suffer kind of melancholy type of situations, they themselves withhold themselves from any kind of nice activity or entertainment activity. So this is not necessarily good, because all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.